What's up guys, Zach Sharps here with the Everything PlayStation Podcast number 2, where we run down everything important regarding PlayStation, airing every single Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central European Time, 6 p.m. UK Time, right here on the JorRaptor YouTube. And as always, since we're on his channel, how you doing, Jordan?
I'm doing very well, man. Excited for the second episode. Really love the feedback on the first one, and keep it coming, of course, questions or everything. Let's make this even better. Let's build on this.
Build on good and make it great. And if you guys are not familiar with the podcast, we go through what we call the rapid news, which is basically sort of bite-sized pieces of the news regarding PlayStation, little small things here and there, and then we go into a little bit of small talk if something happened during the week that we want to talk a little bit about.
Yes, this week, Lawbreakers.
Then we head into the topic, which is sort of a bulk of the show, where we go really in-depth on a particular topic that we feel is important during this week.
Yes, that's the fact that Sony wants to make PlayStation Plus better, and we will discuss how we think they could really grow.
And then we go right into the drop, where we tell you everything that's coming out, and we maybe give you some favorites about what's coming out this week. And then we go into the question of the week. So if you guys have a particular question that we will feature on the show, we'll highlight it, and make sure that you guys definitely leave your questions down below. We didn't really specify it too much last week. We just wanted your feedback and whatnot last week. So this week it's important. If you want a particular question featured on the show, leave it down below in the comments. But I say we go ahead and head into the rapid news.
Does
that sound good?
Yeah, let's
head into the rapid news. All right. So the first one that we have is the July PlayStation Plus games that are announced and are going to be available on the 4th of July. And what we have here is a good bit of stuff. I mean, these games are pretty dang awesome. We have Until Dawn, which is that very story-based game where there's lots of choices. It's very beautiful.
Horror.
Horror, yeah, exactly. So you're going to be maybe shaking your boots a bit. But then we also have Game of Thrones, a Telltale series. So if you're a Game of Thrones fan, that takes place sort of in the midpoint of the series, but I found it to be pretty awesome. There's also That's You, which Jordan knows a bit more about.
Yeah,
we're probably gonna
we talk about that later. Yeah, in the drop,
exactly.
Because that's a new game, and it's also like a new game starting out a whole new PlayStation line. So we'll talk about that more soon.
Yeah, exactly. And then we also have Tokyo Jungle, which is a PlayStation 3 title. Dark Stalker's Resurrection, which is also PlayStation 3. Don't Die Mr. Robot, which is PlayStation Vita, cross-buy with the PlayStation 4. And we have Elemental, which is the PlayStation Vita as well. So a really good chunk of games here. I mean, especially for the PlayStation 4, Until Dawn and Game of Thrones, the Telltale series really stick out to me as, you definitely want to download those games and check them out because they're really, really good titles.
Yeah, you mentioned all of them, and I've also like a video up on the channel that shows all the games, tells you a little bit more about it.
All right, so let's go ahead and the second one.
Yeah, not so good news. No Mass Effect Andromeda single-player DLC, according to Kotaku. So something weird happened. There was some sort of fake company that said on Facebook, yeah, we worked with Bioware to make DLC for Mass Effect Andromeda, but that was cancelled. So no, there will not be any single-player DLC. Kotaku kinda debunked that rumor. Bioware itself did that as well, but they still said, Kotaku, that there is still no single-player DLC. So what happened after Mass Effect Andromeda? Of course, that whole game was a huge debacle with way lower score than everyone expected from a Mass Effect game. I finished it, I enjoyed it, but there was so much wrong, especially from a technical standpoint. Of course, the face animations, the frame drops, the draw distance was really bad, pop-up everywhere. So this game was not finished, but they've been working on it for a very, very long time. So what happened after Mass Effect Andromeda? I mean, also during the EA E3 show, they did not mention Mass Effect one bit. So that would be a great time to, of course, announce single-player DLC. But it seems like EA wants to move on, and that's what happened as well with all the people that worked on this game. There's still a group, according to Kotaku, working on the multiplayer stuff. So we might see new things for that, like small tidbits, I would imagine, maybe more microtransaction stuff. But the people that could work on a single player DLC are now moved to maybe Anthem, of course the game they showed during the Microsoft press conference, that huge sort of Destiny type of game. And there's also a new Dragon Age game in the works, so it might be that some people from Andromeda team moved over to Dragon Age. It's a pretty interesting, of course, every Mass Effect game like had huge story DLC, so it's kind of sad that, because they have fixed some stuff, right? They have fixed some facial animations. It's better than what it was at launch. It's still not like from the caliber of a Mass Effect title, what you come to expect from it. But still, it's better. But for people like me that like finished it in the first week, there's no reason to go back. Not that I wanted to go back, I think, even with the single player DLC, but I can imagine that some people thought, okay, like the game, want to go back for the DLC and see all the changes. But yeah, it seems like you can better sell the game if you're not playing anymore, because there's no reason to go back. According to Kotaku, of course, Bioware debunked like the fake Facebook company, but they did not assure anyone we are making single player DLC. They did not say that. They just said that the rumor that there was not going to be any single player DLC was false. So it's an interesting situation, but it seems like Mass Effect is it's going it's going to be quiet in that franchise for a very, very long time, if it ever comes back. I mean, EA has Star Wars now, that of course makes way more money, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and that's the sad thing, right? Because Mass Effect Andromeda, it wasn't a horrible game, it was just extremely painfully average, especially when you compare it to the original trilogy. And that's really where a lot of the criticism came in, was if this was the first Mass Effect ever to release, it would have been received a lot better. And would have been like, okay, well, you guys can build on that. Obviously, facial animation's not good whatsoever, but you could build on it, and it wouldn't have been as painful. But since this was the fourth game in the series, it was very painful, because you saw the original trilogy try and improve on some things. Obviously, the third one, its ending was not good, but besides that, it still improved on some things. And then to see this one come out, it's like it descended below the original, and so that's never a good thing. And so I don't think this is very surprising, but it is kind of sad if you are a Mass Effect fan that we might not see a Mass Effect for quite a while, especially with Anthem and also, like you mentioned, Star Wars. But speaking of games that aren't disappointing, we're gonna head into some awards here. You know more sort of about the breakdown here, but God of War got featured, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's great. So this is more like we kind of think that those games are going to be good. It's more like the most anticipated games. So for best trailer during E3 2017, according to the PlayStation fans over on the PlayStation blog, was voted God of War had the best trailer of E3, followed by Spiderman, of course. Then on the third place it was Monster Hunter World. The bronze trophy, what they do is like bronze, silver, gold, platinum. Bronze trophy was for Days Gone. Most anticipated game is also God of War, according to the PlayStation fans over on the PlayStation blog. Spider-Man as well on the second place. Third one, still Monster Hunter, and also Days Gone, number 4. Then for most anticipated PSVR games, so Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, a lot of people seem to like that. It will be a full price release launching in the end of this year. That's pretty interesting, but if it works, I mean, it's an open world RPG in VR that you like normally play in first person as well. I think it could work if they really do it well. I heard some things that people really liked it, so I think it's cool for PlayStation VR owners. Super Hot VR, Monster of the Deep, Final Fantasy 15, and then the Impatient with a bronze trophy. Then they also had some edited choices, just some games that were not mentioned, like Detroit Become Human, still Monster Hunter, Spider-Man, God of War. So it's kind of the same things. I'm surprised that no Uncharted The Lost Legacy was here. That is of course still a pretty huge Uncharted game that is coming out in August. People seem to forget a little bit about that, but we will have to wait and see if that's good. But I think it will be. But I thought it was interesting to share that people are most excited about God of War, and then the Spider-Man game. And also Monster Hunter is getting a lot of love, so that's cool to see.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I'm personally much more hyped about God of War than I am Spider-Man, just because Spider-Man's never been my most favorite hero, so even though I like him, it's just not like something that's going to really hype me up, even though it does look fantastic. I mean, I can't wait to play both, but God of War is certainly much higher there, so that makes sense for me.
It will Yeah, it will come out earlier as well. God of
Exactly.
War early 2018, while Spider-Man is still slated to release in the first half of 2018, so probably May, June, or April.
Yeah, if we're lucky, if it's not postponed.
Oh yeah, of course. That's why they probably did not say like
A date.
Yeah, a date or just a month or something like that.
Yeah.
They are still like we don't know, but a game that has a date.
Yeah, Lawbreakers. Its open beta on PC is ongoing right now. On the PlayStation 4, though, the closed beta is currently going to end on the 5th of July, with the open beta probably a little later. We're guessing probably mid-July, because the game releases in August, early August. So they're going to have
August 8th,
yeah, they're going to have to do something before then to stress test the servers for the PlayStation 4, because on the PC at least, it's not having a good time with connection to host issues and whatnot persisting.
Okay.
So I played the game a good bit though on PC, and I found
What is it?
It's a team-based shooter, and it's by Cliff Brzezinski, I think is his name. He worked on Gears of War. Yeah, Cliffy B, which I don't think he likes being called anymore, but it is what it is. So yeah, he worked on Lawbreakers, worked on Gears of War. It's a team-based shooter, very Twitch-based, very fast-paced. There's a lot of quick actions you can do with each of the heroes. One of the heroes is more of an assassin. She has 2 swords, and you can sort of slingshot your way around the map. There's anti-gravity wells, so you can go into like the middle of the map, and there's a bunch of anti-gravity areas, and you can sort of float around, sling yourself everywhere. And it has also a variety of game modes too. There's one where you take a battery, you take it back to your base, you charge it. Whoever charges it to 100 gets a point, and it's first to I think 3 or 4 points wins. And then there's also one that's sort of like a ball, sort of like Hut Ball if you played SWTOR, where you grab a ball, you take it to the goal, you score it, and so on and so forth. So there's a variety of different modes going on there. I don't really personally liked the game modes. Like the game modes to me felt really odd. And it's weird because with Lawbreakers, I love the heroes and how they traverse the terrain. I love how the gunplay feels. I love how all their abilities work. I just don't like the map design, and I don't like the game mode design. And that's where the disconnect is for me, because that's a big piece of the puzzle. For me, it just doesn't fit having these very quick heroes and having these maps be so enclosed where you can't really utilize their kits as well as you would hope. And so I don't know, maybe the full map listing will be better, but right now it is a buy-to-play team-based shooter at $30, and that's a huge issue because they're barely getting any traction on Steam. Their peak was 7,400. If we remember back to Battleborn, its peak was around 13,000. So they're almost half that of Battleborn, and we know how Battleborn ended up. And I did a little bit of math earlier today, and right now they're hovering around 5,400 people playing the game right now. Usually after these games release, they lose about 60 to 80% of their users within the first 3 or so months. So if they lose 80% of that, they're hovering around 1,000. 1,000 players is horrible, like really, really horrible. So they're taking a huge gamble going buy to play here, and I'm assuming that it's going to help out that they're going to be on the PlayStation 4, but I predicted recently on a show that I do called Free to Play Weekly that this game is going to go free to play within a year. I do not see it lasting, and also it's by Nexon, it's published by Nexon, and Nexon's whole portfolio is free to play games. And also the Boss Key Productions, who is making this game, have already been flirting with free-to-play because that was their original plan. So I think that they're willing also to make that switch quicker than, say, Battleborn did, where they're still calling it a free trial, which completely destroys that resurgence that could have occurred there. So
yeah. Of course, for people that can't remember Battleborn anymore, it was of course the Gearbox game from the creators of Borderlands, sort of their mobile thing. Lawbreakers is way more a first-person shooter though than what Battleborn was, but it's still interesting to see that if you could play the game for free, you're still hovering around that number, and even if they lose like 60% after a few months of play or for a few weeks, I think that the people that are playing for free right now is not the exact same number that will buy it for $30 when it comes out. So that it will probably be even lower, and then you're really like having a hard time. But why they switched to free to play, if I remember correctly, was that they saw that I think there were two reasons. Like one, they wanted to show people, okay, there is like a value here. It is a double A game, right? So free to play still has that sort of cheap feel, right? I mean, a lot of games like League of Legends, of course, another game like Paladins, for example, still they're really polished, but overall the free-to-play market still has that kind of cheap feeling. Stigma, that was what I was looking for. And Lawbreakers wants to break away from that. And also they said that if you invested $30 into a game, they are more willing to stick around because you invested money. That's really one of the reasons they gave. On the other end, you could say
it's a logical fallacy.
Why would but why would people spend $30 in the first place? Maybe they're really going to just make a quick buck, and then after a few months they just give a lot of freebies to the guys that already paid them, and then make it free to play for more people.
Yep.
It will be interesting to see. Right now, this landscape of hero shooters is just so crowded. Paladins is doing an amazing job at carving some sort of, I would not even call it a niche, because their audience is enormous. Of course, it's nothing compared to Overwatch, but Overwatch, of course, another league in terms of Blizzard games and stuff like that. So I don't think that, I think Lawbreakers will really have a hard time, especially on the PC, because there's just a lot of competition there. Hopefully the PS4 release and later the Xbox release will help. August 8th is a great timing though. There are not a lot of games coming out, so that might help. But I think it will be interesting to follow this. But I don't see the future as bright. You said that the game is good though, so that might help. It's not like a crappy game. I mean, Battleborn did have some issues.
Yeah, it's kind of good. Like I said, the shooting mechanics are phenomenal. The heroes are really awesome. It's just everything else is not that great, at least in my opinion, and that's where I think it's going to suffer. Because with Battleborn, it didn't have issues, but at least from what I played of it, I didn't mind its game modes. I actually enjoyed them. So. And I was more willing to play
it
that.
did have issues though,
yeah.
In terms of it took forever to load into a game.
Yep.
The games were just too long for console players, 30 minutes for one match. It's just that's not what people that play shooters are used to. And it was not really a shooter, it was more a MOBA game. It really, the items and the skills and that you shoot via some sort of first-person view was the only really shooter thing. If you were just a really good shooter player, you still and you did not understand the MOBA elements, you would still die really fast.
Yeah.
While in Lawbreakers and Paladins, that's the other way around.
In the end, it really just comes down to the fact that if you're gonna launch a team-based shooter, it should be $20 for a Founders Pack that unlocks all the heroes and even future ones, just like Paladins did, and then it's free to play for everyone else who just wants to come in and play the game without having to spend a dime. That's the way it should be, because Overwatch is always gonna be able to hold that $40 because it's Blizzard, and Blizzard can do what they want. It's just how it is. But speaking of people who want to do what they want, Sony wants to make PlayStation Plus better. And so with PlayStation Plus, over the years, some people have not really been as keen to enjoy what's been offered. As we saw with what's going to be offered in July, though, things are definitely looking up. You know, we saw Until Dawn and Game of Thrones, the Telltale series, two really good games that are going to be free to check out, download, and enjoy. But in the past, we also had games in June, such as Killing Floor 2, Life is Strange, and a bunch of other mixes thrown in there as well. And then May, Alienation, Tales of the Borderlands, Blood Knights, so on and so forth. So they've been improving, it seems, from May and on. It's just now we're starting to see more of a bulk of that, with Until Dawn and Game of Thrones.
Yeah, so what's going on is of course, it's like Netflix, right? The more subscribers they have, the better it is for them. It's not like they have to make boxes or something like that, so that they still lose a little bit of money on the people that buy their system. It's just the more, the better.
Exactly.
They can't really go wrong with that. So they just want more people to be subscribed to PlayStation Plus. So they did some deals, for example, during the I think it was a week of play or something during E3. They had this huge promotion where you could easily get PlayStation Plus. But what we also see is apart from the better lineup, because if we like look at the things we got like a year prior to this, it's really like this is a huge increase. We now finally get a huge PlayStation 4 $60 game. I mean, it's not $60 right now, but when it launched, it was. Well, normally we're really looking at indie games. So yeah, we even saw that in the May month you like mentioned here with Alienation, Tales from the Borderlands, both games that are like $20, and Until Dawn is like 60, and Life is Strange is also like a pretty huge game. Killing Floor was also 60 when it launched. So they're really like stepping their game up, and yeah, that's really because they just want, because right now at the end of the fiscal quarter or fiscal year of 2016, they had 26 I have to get the thing correctly, let me check it out. Yeah, 26.4 million subscribers, and if you look at the 60 million player base, that's like
almost half.
That's not almost half. Like there's way more to gain there for them.
Yeah.
That's what they really want to do. And we also see that with, for example, the Horizon Zero Dawn pre-order deal. So if you want to get the Frozen Wilds DLC, it's $15 if you own PlayStation Plus, and $20 if you if you have no PlayStation Plus. So it's like already cheaper to just get a PlayStation Plus subscription for 3 months, and you already saved that $5. So then the rest of the purchase is like, yeah, it's really nice. So they want to get people in that way. They also did like a special sale where you kind of had like 33% like off the game if you were not a PlayStation Plus member, but 66% off if you were. So if you saw a game that you already wanted and you kind of did the calculation, you kind of have like a free PlayStation Plus subscription there if you buy that game. So that's where they're really going into. So what do you think Sony has to do to make PlayStation Plus better? Do you think to make this grow, that what they want? I think the things they are doing right now are already great, but do you have other things in mind that they would need to do to maybe see it grow?
I don't know. They just have to really add more value in terms of like more sales, deeper sales even, because a lot of what I see on the PlayStation Plus offers for, discounted games isn't even on the caliber of Steam, which is a free service. And that's a really big disconnect, because you're having to pay for the service and you're having to pay for online. And that's really one thing that should already be free, is online. So they need to add value elsewhere, because online just isn't good enough. And that's for me the disconnect at the moment. And one of the issues I see with the games that they're offering now is they're also somewhat older as well. Like, I've already played Until Dawn, I've already played Game of Thrones, so I wouldn't even want to subscribe to this service because it doesn't offer me anything. Now, I understand that some people obviously don't play games as they release, so that's going to be a good value for them, and I already complimented them on including those two games because they're really good. It's just I don't see how having just those two games is going to increase the amount of subscriptions. I could see how the discount on Horizon is going to help, the Horizon DLC, but maybe right before that comes out, I know that it just released not too long ago, but a lot of people probably already bought it. Make Horizon free. Like, just make it free. And then that way you sell a ton of the DLC, because it's an in-house game, so it's not like they need to really make a ton of money off of it. It's a selling point for the console. And if they truly want to get the subscription service to get a bump, that would definitely give it a bump. And it would make people look at it and be like, wow, they just gave out a Game of the Year title, and it's not even been out that long. Like, that's amazing. That's a great service right there. And so that's really something that I could see would really bring him up the subscription numbers, is doing something like that.
I think that's like a little bit extreme, like you already kind of thought as well. I think if they plan like a huge DLC content plan for Horizon with new DLCs every 6 months, let's say that they do that for 2 years, then giving the game for free to people is like guaranteed more DLC sales. I think that's too soon for this, because at Black Friday they will probably have this console bundle where a lot of people will jump in and they will just put Horizon in there. I think that you would like still, because in the UK when that now I don't know the name, like the day of play or the week of play. But anyway, when that promotion happened during E3, Horizon went back to the top #1 spot for $40. The game was. So they're leaving, I think, money on the table if they give it away for free. But to your credit, though, I think that, for example, Uncharted 4 or
there you go.
another huge PlayStation 4 exclusive that is not seeing a lot of sales right now. I don't think that Uncharted 4 is getting picked up left and right still. So a lot of people already have it, and then you can still give it away, and even to promote maybe Uncharted: The Lost Legacy that is coming out, of course. So
exactly.
having Uncharted 4, it would be a huge thing, of course. That would really make a lot of people subscribe, because what I think is that the people that already bought Uncharted 4 and also like Horizon, I think they already have a PlayStation Plus membership, because they are the hardcore PlayStation fan base that also plays all their games there. Maybe Horizon not, because that's purely a single player game, of course. So might be that people haven't are not like interested in PlayStation Plus because they you can't play Horizon online. But yeah, games like that, I think Until Dawn is a great thing. But yeah, go a year further, like look at the exclusive games from there, or maybe Gravity Rush 2. I mean, that launched in January, but I don't think that it's going to get any sales like at this time. So yeah, look at those games. I think that's a really good point. The sales they're doing right now, everything else, they're at a good track. Yeah, I think that maybe give more options like that. I mean, they already have like the cloud save option. Like some of those quality of life updates could also help make the service even better. I can't really think of.
Then you skirt the fact that like cloud save should be for free. They really should. Steam also offers that. So does Origin. So, I mean, there's certain things that for me even, it makes me not want to subscribe to PlayStation Plus, because I think as a consumer, they're ripping me off. Like by locking and putting a paywall behind certain things like online. And this is coming from a more mainly PC-oriented person, because I play online for free. I have cloud saves for free. You know, I have deep cuts in, you know, prices during sales for free, and so I get a lot of this stuff for free. So they have to offer something else. And I think what would really be nice is, one of the things that I don't like about PlayStation Plus currently is if I'm not subscribed, I don't get to play the games that I already got through PlayStation Plus. So maybe have an option to unlock specific titles. Like if you're not subscribed to the service, you know, you're able to unlock half your library, or half the, you know, or like maybe a fourth of what you already subscribe to. So for example, you know, there's like Rocket League. I can't play Rocket League on my PlayStation 4 if I wanted to, because it's locked behind the fact that it needs PlayStation Plus. So stuff like that would be nice.
But then they don't entice you to buy PlayStation Plus, because
yeah, but that's why you would only do a part of your library. But make it more of like an ease-in type thing would be nice. But I think to our point earlier, aggressive, you know, features such as like a Horizon or Uncharted. Uncharted wouldn't be as aggressive. Horizon would be very aggressive, depending on, of course, when that DLC releases. But it's really going to come down to one of those facts that how aggressive do they really want to be? Because how far do they think that they're going to get? Because they already have about 50% of their console base. That's an impressive number, I think, because there's a lot of casual people out there that aren't going to really want this service no matter what, or only going to buy it maybe once a year because it's not that important to them. So what percentage of that is still left out there that will actually actively subscribe? I would say maybe 10 to 20%. I don't think it's a big number. So I think throwing out Uncharted, or just doing what they're doing right now with Until Dawn, Game of Thrones, Killing Floor 2, Life is Strange, and the past games that have been sort of revitalizing this particular service, I think is really as close as they're going to get to capturing the rest of those people.
Yeah, I think so as well. I thought of another feature that might just be something extra. I mean, a lot of people are struggling with like disk space, so why not maybe give them a terabyte of a cloud storage, something like that you can get your games on. That would be a cool thing.
Or name changes.
That should not be a PlayStation Plus only thing, though.
That's true, but
on the other hand, though, maybe if they do like a name change, I mean, that's a whole other topic. Of course, it should be freaking in the system already, but it's not. But maybe if they like one magical moment they decide to do it, that you get your first name change for free if you are a PlayStation Plus subscriber.
Yeah,
that could also really help. So something like that. Yeah, I think that kind of wraps it up. We're already almost at the end of the podcast.
Yep. So let's go ahead into the drop. And so
you said you wanted to do all the games, but
yeah, there's not really a lot there. I'll let you go through them, I guess.
Yeah, because normally like the idea is like when we have like a very crowded week to just pick our picks, because that's what we also wanted to do with this podcast, is to make it more compact and to really focus on the good stuff. So I can like say that Energy Cycle is like coming out and it's a PlayStation Vita title, but it probably is not a good game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to note speedrunners, because I know that has been a pretty popular game in the YouTube Twitch community, if I remember correctly. It's just a 4-player side-scrolling game with some sort of you have some sort of harpoon thing out of your hand or something that you can swing around with. I'm not really sure, but it should be a fun party game if I remember that. Another party game, and that we already kind of teased at the beginning of the show, is That's You, and we actually talked about it last week as well, because I got to play this at E3. I was so excited for this appointment because it said unannounced PlayStation title, really important game for PlayStation. So I thought, I'm curious what they will show, and then it was this game. But still, it's interesting. It's of course a game from PlayLink, so that's a new line of PlayStation games. Speaking of Until Dawn, there will also be some sort of Until Dawn 2, like from the same creators. They're doing some sort of choice make game where you, with your phone and other people on the couch, can make decisions, and that the game will progress that way. So that's pretty cool. Not coming out now. The first one is That's You, and that's a quiz game where you and your friends come together, and then there's like a question like during a travel, when you're traveling, who will say are we there yet, like the most, and then everyone picks like a guy, and then the person that is the most common answer, the people that chose that answer get the points. You got a joker, so you put a joker in, got double points, and that's a little bit how you do it. They really made awesome use of the phone in terms of that the camera is also usable. You first make a selfie, so then you can just easily select the other people, and you can also have some sort of random interactions, like someone needs to make a picture of someone like driving a fake car, and then everyone gets that picture on their phone and can start drawing a car or something like that on the phone, and then at the end everyone will choose, I think that one is the best car, and then the best car won, something like that. So it should be fun. They said that this game, this PlayStation Link, is for to broaden the PlayStation audience. Like I said, they have 60 million sold right now, so a lot of the hardcore gamers are already on board. So what they want to do now is make sure that the families, the people that just play a few games each year, are also coming to the PlayStation platform, and they hope that party games like this make it interesting for them. Of course, the Wii saw a huge success because it was focused on that market. So we will see how it goes. That's You. I think I will totally try it with some friends on the couch, but I'm more interested in that Until Dawn Hidden Agenda game. But that's a free game for PlayStation Plus on July 4th, and that's really like the game that you should try out this week, and maybe that speedrunners if you're into that.
Yeah, so it's not really like it's not as massive of a week as last week was, for example.
No.
But regardless, guys, that is the end of the show. Be sure to leave your questions down in the comment section below, and we might feature it on next week's podcast. And that's be something maybe we might add in a small talk or a topic, depending on what the question is. So definitely leave it in the comment section below, and you might get featured. But guys, make sure to check out the channel for your latest PlayStation, Horizon news, and whatever else Jordan's mind wants to cover at the time. And next Monday, of course, at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central European Time, 6 p.m. UK time, right here on YouTube. The Everything PlayStation podcast will be live, and you can definitely subscribe to make sure you are alerted. But as always, my name is Zach Sharp, signing out until the next time I'm on this channel. I'll catch you guys next time.
Goodbye, guys. Awesome.